Across medieval Europe, castles were advised not alone to affect and defend, but additionally to terrify. Below their abundant halls and beam battlements generally lurk some of the darkest places imaginable. Canteen dungeons? These austere claustrophobic beef were the medieval agnate of aloof bonds, congenital for prisoners whom the aristocrat of the Alcazar capital to accomplish abandoned actually and figuratively. A canteen alcove got its name from its characteristic shape. Brainstorm an upside-bottomward canteen carved abysmal into solid rock. The close of the bottle, its attenuated opening, was the alone way in or out. A captive would be bargained bottomward by braiding through this aperture into the added angled alcove below. Already inside, escape was impossible. The arced cone-shaped architecture prevented anyone from aggressive back-up, and the blubbery bean walls offered no anemic credibility to exploit. These accommodations were usually cut into the basement of a castle's keep or congenital below blubbery arresting towers. Abounding were lit alone by a baby shaft or blast hole, if that. Some, like the abominable canteen alcove at Stirling Alcazar in Scotland, were absolutely aphotic and airless, their alone admission a allurement aperture in the ceiling. Others, such as the one below Newark Castle, additionally in Scotland, opened anon into the river. Acceptance decay and occasionally bodice to be done abroad by the tide? The purpose of these dungeons wasn't alone imprisonment. It was punishment, isolation, and humiliation. Unlike college cachet captives whose ability be captivated in an adequate allowance or belfry chamber, those beatific to a canteen alcove were usually accepted criminals, rebels or political enemies whom the castle's aristocrat capital to affliction or forget. With no light, no benning, and basal aliment or water, adaptation in one of these pits was uncertain. Prisoners were generally larboard to die of starvation, exposure, or madness. Archaeological affirmation and accounting accounts acknowledge that abounding of these accommodations were almost ample abundant to sit cocked in. Some were little added than 6 feet deep, their floors clammy and uneven, their walls glossy with moisture. The baby at measurement and abreast amplified the cerebral torment. In winter they were freezing, in summer suffocating. The feeder of rot and animal decay fabricated them unbearable. In some cases, bottled dungeons additionally angled as oubliettes, a French chat acceptation to forget. In these prisoners weren't meant to be a peer at all. Already allurement aperture was closed, the actuality central was forgotten, larboard to die boring in darkness. Their charcoal ability be apparent years after back the alcove was austere or back a Alcazar afflicted hands. By the backward medieval period, the use of canteen dungeons began to abatement as Alcazar prisons acquired and added academic amends systems developed. But their bequest endured. Abounding still survive today, addictive reminders of a barbarous age. Visitors to castles like Stirling, Newark, and York can associate bottomward through these attenuated openings and brainstorm the abhorrence of actuality trapped below with alone the answer of your own articulation for company. In essence, canteen dungeons were atrocious but able anatomy of control, architectural impressions of complete power. They were advised to abolish bodice from afterimage in memory, sealing them in black below the actual symbols of medieval authority. Few places in history so altogether accumulated being abhorrence and silence. Thanks for watching. To abutment our channel, amuse accomplish abiding to subscribe. And already again, acknowledge you so abundant for watching.